What is up, survivors? This is Harv with Harv's Corner, and for today's Taming 101, technically this isn't really a tame, but it's a creature that you can get, and we're going to talk about how to get it. It is the Magmasaur, big old lava lizard, fireball throwing, metal smelting fire lizard. The Magmasaur. So the Magmasaur is the unique creature that is inside of the volcano biome, and this kind of works sort of like egg stealing from a wyvern, but let's talk about the abilities that this guy gets first. So first off, the saddle is completely different than any other saddle, and we'll explain why. We're gonna hop on this guy. Magmasaurs do not move terribly fast. They're not really all that slow, but they're not terribly fast. Damage is not too bad. They alternate. Their primary attack is an alternate between a bite attack and then kind of like a claw. So the Magmasaur will harvest stone and also harvest metal for you very, very well. Now and obsidian. It'll harvest obsidian as well. It won't harvest crystal or the element shards that are in the volcano biome, which is a little odd, but yeah, it is what it is. It'll just pick up the stone off of it. But if we check its inventory, it gets a weight reduction on metal, so pay attention to that one. For food, it'll eat meat, but primarily keep a stack of stone on your inventory. It will actually eat stone as well. Stats, I would say your health is decent. Your stamina, it's not too much of a stamina hog until you start getting into like the fireball shooting. Its weight is probably something you're going to want to watch. Food is arguably kind of important, and we'll explain why. And really, weight and melee damage, personally, I think is what these guys need for the majority of their level ups. If I hold in the alternate fire option, my searing spit starts to build up. Now, if I let this go, it can be used to fire a fireball. You need metal bars in your inventory in order to do that. It'll consume one metal bar every time it does. It'll have an impact and then a splash damage around it. It will also catch enemies on fire. Now, if you're holding in that alternate fire button and then hit the C attack instead, it'll do this AoE all around me, set things on fire sort of attack as well. So this is just on either side and kind of behind me as well. And as you can see, it sets creatures on fire as well. So that's your couple different options. Now, the other cool abilities about these guys is the option to enable smelting. Something else while we're in this menu we can talk about. It can enable turret mode. So if it has metal in its inventory, you can put these guys in turret mode and they will actually fire fireballs. And enabling smelting is a cool thing. So the animation will change. You'll start to see the fire pop out. The Magmasaur will move even slower, but it will start converting metal, raw metal, into metal bars. Now, it doesn't do it very fast. It's not as fast as an industrial forge would be, but it does convert it over from a 1-to-1 ratio versus like a 2-to-1 like your typical forges would be, which is kind of nice. And it'll create metal. It will also cook meat for you as well. It won't create charcoal or anything like that, but it will cook meat it will turn meat into cooked meat and then prime meat into cooked prime meat, and it'll melt metal down into metal bars for you, but that's pretty much it. It's not going to do a whole lot else. When it's in this smelting mode, its food will start to go down substantially faster, but because I have stone on its inventory, it's actually just pumping through the stone, but that's something to be careful of as well. It's going to go through food very quickly when it's on the smelt, so make sure that you have a lot of food in range, and like I said, stone is probably your best bet. It fills it up the quickest so far that I've seen anyway. You can still do all your normal attacks while you're smelting. You can still shoot the fireball. You can still do all of your normal attacks. You can still do all that stuff. So you still get all of those options. That doesn't change. Just you can create metal on the fly and you don't move quite as fast. That's pretty much it. But again, you want to watch that food load because you can see my food just like plummet down. But I can force feed myself stone and it goes right back up again. So it's kind of important to note. As far as using the Magmasaur in other biomes, so obviously it's akin to the volcano environment. If you're in the saddle, you can actually freely swim in the lava and not take any damage. These guys can walk in and out of lava taking no damage. Also, if you're inside the saddle, you can be inside the volcano itself while it's erupting without taking any damage as well. You can just sit inside of it and wander around the volcano while it's erupting. Just don't get off the saddle there, and then you're going to start taking damage again. He gets a little worse when you're playing outside this biome. So in something like the bog or the ocean biome, whenever the Magmasaur is wet. So if you're in water in the bog, or if it's raining in the bog, or if you're in the water in the ocean biome, smelting won't work. You won't be able to smelt. He'll move a little bit slower. You'll start to see a significant difference in how fast he moves. But again, you won't be able to use any of the smelting. Cold environments will slow him down as well. you want to watch that as well. So primarily you want to use this guy in the volcano. Although if you're in the ocean biome, you can kind of keep him on top of those rock platforms and have him smelt out there. That part totally works. So it's not too terrible in that respect. But primarily, you're going to want this guy out here in the volcano biome. The fire blast that this guy possesses does full damage to the rock golems that are inside the cave. So that's another option that this guy has, is the ability to actually take on rock golems. You probably still want a couple of buddies if you're trying to do that, because it takes a lot of stamina and a lot of metal bars to sit there and constantly shoot at them, but it is a possibility. Magmasaurs are also breedable. You can breed these guys, but they are a little bit tricky, much like most of these new creatures in Genesis Part 1 are. Magmasaurs must be bred in lava, so you have to find a lava pool, and there's a few of them outside of the volcano up on the cliffs where you can breed them inside the pool and extract the egg. Now, with normal Ark, it's going to be kind of a pain because the egg's going to drop there. You're going to have to try to find a way to pick it up. Like, it's going to be a little dangerous. It seems like, at least with us so far, that I've noticed, if you have hazard gear, you can actually go into the lava without taking damage. So if you're trying to breed these guys, probably invest in some hazard gear. It might actually save your butt. So that's an option if you're breeding in the lava. The other option, obviously, if you're running the S+ mod, would be to use the hatchery and use the hatchery to automatically pull the egg up and start incubating it as well. Once the egg is fertilized, you can really just use air conditioners to hatch it. But when you're doing the imprint and while the baby's growing up, it will only eat the ambergris stone that is located on the lunar biome. Ambergris, I don't know if it's, I think it's described as the giant whales, like it's not. The whales that fly around there, it's kind of gross. But anyway, you need that to feed to the Magmasaur babies. It's the only thing they eat. It's essentially like wyvern milk for Magmasaurs. So you'll use that to possibly imprint it, but you will need it to feed because that's the only thing it's going to eat. So definitely want that stuff before you start breeding these guys. There goes a flying Triceratops. Just flying. Just stepped on one of the fire geysers down there. At any rate, they're cool. I like them. The ability to harvest some stuff for you makes them good. The range attack makes them awesome. Full damage to lava golems makes them awesome. So how does one get Magmasaur eggs? So let's cryopie this guy up. I'm going to take you into the volcano, show you where a couple of the spawns are for eggs, and then a couple different methods, and then we'll talk about a couple different methods as far as how to obtain the eggs. Right where I am right now is actually the Volcano East teleportation site. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see what we're talking about here, but you're going to come down right down here, right where this little fork is. Now, up that hill underneath that bridge will lead you to one of the entrances of the volcano, but I'm going to toggle up here just so you can kind of see a little bit better. Now, there's two options here. You can go straight up either one of these hills. Up that hill or up this hill. So we're going to talk about both of these entrances. This hill kind of ropes around and it's a little annoying, but it goes all the way around to this area where this lava pit's at here. And you have this entrance. There's multiple entrances, but these are the two I primarily use. So this one here is 32.4, 85.5. And the other location, let's go back and start over again, right? So this is where the east spawn is. We come in, we go up the hill, we go under the bridge, we go down the hill, and this is the other entrance here. These are the two that I primarily get in and out of, but there are quite a couple of others. So this one is 33.4, 82.4. So we'll go in this way. This is definitely a treacherous cave if you haven't already been in here, and we're probably going to do the next 101 will be more of an overview of this whole biome. But really what we're looking for here is these lava pits. And down in these pits, and you can see this egg here, you're looking for like masses over the lava that looks like this, like little, like a mud nest almost, but you're going to see the eggs in here. And then you'll probably think there's 2 or 3 down in this section. Yep, there's one here. Yep. So this section to get the eggs, it can be a little risky because there's no ramps to go up and down from, right? So you're restricted to your methods of coming down here. So Bloodstalker, Ferox, grappling hooks, parachutes, wingsuits, like you're gonna need a solid way up and down unless you somehow build some sort of thing to get you up and down out of here. The other place to go, and again, so we came in, let's turn around real quick. So this is the entrance we came in at, right? And we keep going straight down. We make our first left at this fork. We follow it down to where we start seeing these purple crystals. We make our right. We go down here. It's kind of a long drive, but we're headed down here. to this major pit. Now this is considerably more Magmasaurs. Actually, I think we have an over spawning issue here. I mean, that's a little too much. A little bit of over spawning issue. Anyway, this ramp will actually come down into the lava. And this is the only ramp in and out, right? So this whole little area down here, this is the actual only ramp that comes up and down. Everything else is going to be climbing, wingsuiting, Bloodstalker, Ferox, even a Megalania maybe, if you're progressed enough to tech skiff. But yeah, this is where you're going to want to go. Now, these areas in general have a lot of resources, so you have a lot of your element shards. You also have like black pearls, but we're not really here to talk about that. We're talking about the eggs. So you're going to see these little formations popping out here, here, here. And if we go all the way down this little section here, there's like a lava waterfall, and that is here as well. Which you could probably get to from maybe here if you played it smart, maybe. But anyway, to give you some coordinates, the lava waterfall is 27.6, 78.4. And then if we come back here to where this ramp is right here, we'll take care of this one real quick. This is, well, let's turn around a little bit. That glare's horrible. 25.3, 76.9. So that's this area here. And let's go back to the first area that I was going to for these guys and get you the coordinates for there too. I think this is the only two areas that I've found so far. There might be others, but so far these are the two that I've come down into. And let's get coordinates like right on the edge here. So we're looking at 29.8, 80.7 for this area. So that's really primarily where you're going to find those eggs at. Now, this can be immensely tricky to try to get these eggs. As you can see, there's plenty of insects. There's scorpions, there's arthropluras, there's spiders, there's other magmasaurs, there are rock lava golems in here. You're going to see bats flying around. You see there's some of the bats flying around up there. There's a lot of nasty stuff down here. The Bloodstalker taming method coming down here is risky because it's an insect, so fire damage is really going to suck. Plus, it also starts draining your health. So if you take a Bloodstalker down here, make sure you have plenty of health potions with you, just in case. The Bloodstalker is also faster though, right? So I would highly recommend having a 2, even 3 person deal if you're trying to grab these early on. Someone or a couple of people to distract the Magmasaurs to maybe aggro them to one side while somebody else comes down to pick up the eggs, right? So you could have the person egg stealing right around here maybe, and then the diversions over there where that glitch node is. Pull them over, come down on the Bloodstalker, grab the egg, shoot yourself right back up, and then fire yourself right back out that way. That's probably your best bet. The problems, and again, I said that about the fire with the Bloodstalker. The other problem is that everything in here will aggro after the Bloodstalker. So everything that's in here will come after you. So the Ferox is a little bit more of a tougher method, but it's a little bit trickier to get him out. So he can climb up walls pretty easily, but he climbs up walls that are smooth a lot better than he climbs up rock faces. So it can be a little frustrating trying to get him out. So maybe just get a good game plan as far as exiting goes. Maybe this rock face up here might not be too bad, but the nice thing about the Ferox is that a lot of the bugs won't actually aggro after it. So really, you're only really going to get pulled aggro by Magmasaurs and lava golems. So the Ferox is another method to come down here. And obviously, I mean, you could come down here with, between parachutes, wingsuits, and grappling stuff. You could totally, if you were gutsy enough to grapple hook to here, I mean, you might be able to pull it off. Grab it, grapple hook out, grapple hook your way out here. I mean, that's definitely an option too. One of the safest methods, and the 2 safest methods that I could recommend, would be to come down here with a generator, a turret, and some bullets, right? Set a turret to come down to the other part where is it over here? We can jump over here real quick. Where we have this ramp that comes down. Get somewhere on this cliff, build the generator, drop a turret, drop bullets, and let the turret do the job, right? Letting the turret do the job so that you can come in here and pick up the eggs. That's actually what we did on our PvE server, so that's definitely an option. Is it more expensive? Yes. Are you going to use a lot of bullets? Yes. But The nice thing about the turret is we'll actually shoot the fireballs out of the air as well, so you don't have to get worried about getting bombarded by them. The other nice thing about if you did a turret setup down here is that you can harvest all the obsidian, black pearls, element shards down here too and be relatively safe while you're doing it. Finally, the other method that you could pull, and this again, you have to be pretty kind of further on as far as what technology you have, but bringing a tech skiff. A tech skiff with a generator and some turrets on it and taking it down here to kill things. If you're high enough on the tier that you can have a tech generator and tech turrets, it's a little bit easier because there's plenty of element shards here to provide ammo for the turrets and energy for the generator to keep going too. So that's definitely an option, but I think that's closer to end game-ish because, well, maybe not end game-ish, but definitely towards the latter end. That's more late game sort of a setup. So there's obviously a couple different ways to do this, and those are the couple of ways that we've tried. But so far, the turrets and the skiff have been the easiest option. But again, I don't think this is something you want to try to solo come down here and do. If you were going to try to do it on foot, I would highly recommend ghillie armor, obviously, because it's hot, but it also makes things less likely to see you. Maybe combine that with cactus broth and bug repellent. Bug repellent would help you against all the insects. Cactus broth would make you even harder to detect, which might give you just enough to come down here unseen, grab the egg. Now, once you grab the egg, everything's going to aggro after you, but those couple of seconds of nothing bothering you might be what you need if you were going to do it by yourself. But at any rate, that's how you get the eggs out of here. That's where they're located at, and those are the options that I've seen used and that I've used myself to get the eggs out of here. One last thing to note about this place is the volcano will erupt periodically. Usually it's about every 30-ish minutes, like 31, 32 minutes, the volcano will erupt. You don't want to be inside when that happens. You'll get a notification down at the down at the bottom right by your health meter that the volcano is about to erupt. And if it is about to erupt, you want to hightail it out of here. You do not want to be in here when that happens. It will kill you and it will kill your animals. So don't be in here when that happens. Now, the exception would be if you already had a Magmasaur and you were riding a Magmasaur into this area. But yeah, that's this is a risky tame for sure. This is definitely one of the harder ones that we've talked about. But I mean, the Magmasaur does a lot of cool stuff, so I totally understand why it's not such a super easy tame to obtain. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want it too easy for something that's cool. But that's really it as far as the Magmasaur goes. And like I said, there's a couple of different entrances to this cave, but those are the two that I primarily use. One other thing to talk about is that the Magmasaur egg, the fertilized egg, can be used to tame basilisks that are native to the volcano biome. So normally you would have to use rock drake eggs like you would on Aberration, but out here you can actually get away with using fertilized Magmasaur eggs. So if you either find them or you breed high level ones later on, you would then have access to get the basilisks down here too. So that's pretty cool. A little fun fact for you. But that's about it, guys. That's the Magmasaur. That's the Magmasaur. Look at him. It's like he's panting. Which is odd. You'd think you'd be used to the heat. Anyhow, if you found this video helpful, please like, please subscribe, throw me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know maybe there's other ways to grab the eggs, other hidden secrets about the tame that I didn't bring up. Feel free to let me know. If there's another creature that you're having problems with taming, whether it be one of the new creatures in Genesis or any creature in general, feel free to throw something in the comments so that we know and I can kind of address that and put a video out for you guys to see as well. Feel free to follow me here, follow me on Twitter and also on Twitch. We Twitch live stream from our Genesis server Fridays and Saturdays Eastern Standard Time at 9 p.m. So we'll be on here tonight streaming from our Genesis server. And as always, thanks for watching and thanks for hanging out, and until next time.